Currawarna.
I wonder if this town will stay the same or grow. I wonder if the children and grandchildren of the people who live here will stay.
I wonder.
I wonder what Sundays in town are like.
What's happened in this hall?
Do they hop the fence to a friend's property to ride the motorbikes?
There's a picture on the wall of people dancing, holding each other's hands, a hand on the small of the back.
Do they hassle the chooks or is it chores?
What music did they listen to?
Do they hang the washing out while wearing Dad's wet t-shirt to stay cool?
There's a blackboard here. I wonder how many children have learnt things here, or gazed out the window only to see blowflies trapped in the lace.
Do they lie on the concrete soaking up the sun? Do their rollerblades grind the concrete tiles?
I wonder if heavy rainfall, floods, searing heat and silence will drive the rest of them away.
Do they ride their bikes around the forest with strict instructions not to get into the river?
There's an X on a tree by the river. Did someone die here? Jump and hit their head?
I wonder if the river is smiling as she flows and knows that she will always belong here.
Currawarna reminds me of the downside bush dances I went to every month on the first Saturday. My sister and I would go for free, skipping the entry cost because our father did tech for the band, the Tin Shed Rattlers. The lead singer, Noel, was like an uncle to us. There was a campfire out back and a small kitchen like the one in this hall. The pipe player and I made frankfurts and mashed potatoes. Noel passed away, and I don't talk to my father anymore, but halls are the same. The sun is still bright and the trees are still waving at me. They welcome me back.
Currawarna reminds me of summer as a teenager. Walking past a caravan park and down to the river, feet sticking, sand sticking, and then cold, calm water. The time I got mud in my eye and the doctor had to scrape my eyeball of river weed and stones and gunk. It reminds me of long car rides only to pull over to talk to the cows and the horses, to hop a fence to stand at the mouth of the river. Reminds me of a barge, 8 drums, wooden floor, built by Dad, cheap motor. 2 Ks an hour max, barbecues while floating, legs dragging through the water. It reminds me of walking along the dirt and through the trees to home.
Currawarna reminds me of Matong, my home for some 17 years or more. Its remoteness to other places, the isolation you feel walking the dirt roads under big ancient trees. Bird call similar, galahs are plenty, but still there is other life. A horse, a dog. The driver of a ute gives you the bush wave as he drives by. Most of all, Mother Nature is in control here. This is her country, and we are not important.
Currawarna reminds me of other places and people. Peach lustre mugs like Brett used to collect like trophies. The community hall with its blackboard like a school classroom, which reminds me of my granddad, who was a teacher in the country. The river reminds me of my dad. The horse reminds me of travelling and finding 2 horses on the other side of the world, feeding them slices of apple in flat palms. The lace of my grandmother's curtains. All the border collies I've grown up with. Sunscreen and hats to combat the heat. Flies everywhere, even in the horse's eyes, looking for something wet.
Currawarna.